Yes, re buile gape re mo TXP ka jeko. Ke Mjojo, the podcast. I go by the name of Taban Sefoto, better known as the activist. Sehloholo sa ka go kgatlheng go moruleng ka fa tlasa ditaba tsa mamitlo ko mana magoteng ko madibaneng sa ntebello jagile ke modibana mo tente majama ga dimantweng maleka ka ntšhana a o sena ntšhana o tla leka ka eng re na le baeng ka jeko obviously re bua ka kganya di-drugs, re bua ka go fetola matshelo a batho, ra itse gore di-drugs di fa tuesday a ke itse gore di tlo tsamaleng. So now like we promised the other day ka episode ya rona today re na le ditšhomi tsa rona ka kwano ba e leng gore ba tswa from ke Access chapter 2 ya mbaizisa man LGBTQI plus community or nation re na le yone today. Hi guys, how are you?
We are gonna new.
Aha, kana go nama.
I live like Vuyo.
Okay. Vuyo ma.
Okay. My name is Vuyo Masabutsana Mbuto, and I work as a peer educator for Access Chapter 2.
That's great.
And I am Lisedi Sikele, formerly known as Diamond. I'm a peer educator and a social media influencer.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey, it's a listen. So, how do we build a LGBTQI plus Lipita community? Before we can go ring while the community, go pare unpack. Ke in LGBTQI plus or core in alone.
Okay. So basically, LGBTI, the acronym, it's an acronym that stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, intersex, and asexual people, and then the plus. So the plus encompasses other alphabets also. They're like a lot, so I'm not going to get into them, right? So what you just need to know is that lesbian, gay, bisexual are sexual orientations, right? And then, and bisexual also. So LGB3, sexual orientation. QIA has to do with gender, with the T also. So it's trans, it's intersex, and it's asexual, right? And then the plus also encompasses each and everyone that might not fall under the normal sexual orientation that we have or genders that we have. So it's gender diverse people and people that don't necessarily subscribe with what people are used to. Yes.
And then community.
It's not really a community, hey? Because when we say plus, it means everybody, so we are all included. It's not really about a community, it's about also allies to the community. So it's like everybody. It's not about us only, the plus is for everyone, so everybody's included.
Realistically,
not even.
No, we are a community.
No, we
so
don't.
I've always said to myself, and I have friends, they are gay and whatnot. Okay. You can't call yourself a community because a community you are. So ga ba re ke community tle ba re no manthabang re fila gore re ikeleditse our own community go eleng gore re lela go teng re thusana go teng because you guys ba go teng le straight ga le re tlhalogana.
Okay. I would like, because I think as a community, I regard us as a community, we've got different opinions and different views, right? And it's very important that Diamond also put her view forward and said, yeah, she does not view the community as a community, because I think if you're going to sit here and speak one thing, then from all aspects, you understand what I mean? So I view the community as a community because if you follow the LGBTI history, like from its infancy, from Stonewall to our uprisings, to both Simon Goli and people like Bo Beverly Dizzy, community members of the LGBTI have always been people that have always been regarded as outcasts, right? Within the general community, right? Okay. So what they did historically and even now, they sort of formed their own little small havens where they feel safe. We call these spaces safe spaces, right? Which is what we do also at Access Chapter 2 to say sometimes in locations like Shaneng, like Patsima, like everywhere around Bojanala, where we group LGBTI people together, and then we have sort of like safe spaces where we talk about our issues, we vent out, we help each other with our psychological needs, our emotional needs and stuff like that. Like basically what we do is we equip each other with the strength to face each and every day, because obviously when you go down the streets you get ostracized as an LGBTI member. So we kind of arm each other with strength and agility and resilience so that when we go out into the world we are able to withstand whatever pressure, whatever discrimination, or whatever ostracizing we may face, right? So I regard the LGBTI community as a community because it is a safe haven for us. It's our safe space. It's where we understand each other in our differences. It's where it's like a melting pot of every sexual orientation and every different or gender diversity that is out there in the world. So that's why I'm saying it's a community, because it's that is out of the actual community. So that's anything that is outside of the community is also a community, because we act as each other's pillars and each other's family. Yes.
Okay. Nna ke recovering drug addict. Ebile ke ex offender ke tswa go tronkong sebaka. Me ke tsa 18 years ke ntse 9 years mo di tronkong, right? Dilo tse ke di etsa no ke di etsa ke le one. But I'm learning from you guys. A ke di etse le di ex offender tse ding. My programs. Ke di etsa ke le one, so maybe nna ke tlhoke community. Ke na le program tse dintsi tsa di drugs. Ke di etsa le everyone, but I'm not saying batho ba botho ba berekisa di drugs, but anyway, it's fine. O buile ka Stone Age, which is very important, dilo tsa kgale. Ke kopa re bue ka dilo tse pedi gore batho ba sa tlhaloganyeng ba tlhaloganye. Re bue fela ka gay le lesbian for now. O feature itse gore re tsenya dilo tse tsotlhe. Nna re kgale ne di le teng. Gay le di lesbian. Kgale ke go bolela ka bo ma kwa go morago ka nako tsa bo Shaka le bo mang.
They were there, but they were just not comfortable coming out. They were just in their shadows or shells, because it was not easy to come out really back before, because people were judging. It was just back in the days, everybody was just like narrow. They were not open-minded, not diverse. So people were just in their shadows. Nobody could come out and say I'm gay, or they were just doing it behind closed doors. Yeah.
So ba mafleditse le gore ba nna le bana fela gore ba khatle
just to please the family, because even still now it's still happening. People are getting married, having children just to please their parents or the community, because they are afraid of being judged. Yeah, it's very unfair.
Okay, if I might add on that now, on that point, right? If you follow history closely, or if you follow, like, you dig deep into what history is, being black for quite some time in historical times, it was considered a crime, right? And it was considered to be very, very like a bad thing. You were not humanized in any way. You were basically treated as an animal, right? So black people did not fully enjoy the fruits of justice, human rights, basic human rights and things like that. So in Jena, from that kind of oppression, when black people got at least to experience some form of freedom, you understand? That sort of discrimination, they I think people always want to look for people that they can suppress and discriminate against. I don't know if it's a
human nature.
Yes. Yeah. So you always want to feel better than, right? So when black people, kind of like got whatever they were fighting for, right? They now looked for like an scapegoat for a lot of things, right? And then there were these people that minority that did what other people thought was not normal, which is LGBTI people, which is the attraction that we have towards other men or other women, and then also there's trans people, which is what I want us to focus on, because if we're gonna focus on gay and bisexual, then why are we here? Because we identify as trans.
No. Wait young. Remember gore podcast ya rona shebua ke batho ba bohle.
So you want to
Batho ba botlhale, batho ba ko sekolong, batho ba tsang sekolong, bo koko, bana ba banyane. So ke batla o bua the way re itseng go strateng, doesn't mean ke re sa bua ka ba bang.
And
ha ke re
also-
gay lesbian, everyone go ga wa tlhaloganya.
And also before the trans thing came, there was just gay and lesbian. So
Yeah.
it's only fair
And as well,
to talk about. Then we'll introduce the trans one, because
ke
it
nile
was not
le
known.
yes. Ke nile le lucky ya go nna le dichomi tsa di gay le tsa di lesbian. Nna personal, le tsa di bisexual, le tsa di trans. O mongwe teng she's a DJ. O nna around ka ke ntho ke tsamile le na process ya ga ilo change etsang. So but then knowledge e ke nang le yone somebody gana yone. So that's why ke re unpack re phatlalatse sharp.
Okay,
But
I was still finishing on
Yes,
the point
yes.
and then you guys interjected, right? So trans people and gay people have been here for the longest of time, right? And it's just that it's unfortunate that people have considered it not normal, which is very normal. Other people go to lengths such as it's an African, right? It was introduced during the colonial era, things like that, and so on and so forth. And I just think that people really should like get into the culture of reading, because there is a lot of material, even if it's not mainstream, but just a simple Google scholar search will tell you. But now, trans people have existed for a long time, and now because trans people are getting into academia and are getting to narrate their own stories and their own narratives, it's very, very easy now to get information around trans and gender diversity and queerness and being gay and being bisexual and being intersex and being asexual and stuff like that.
ka character ya batho.
Character.
Yeah. Go na le baruti ba ba evil. And baruti ba bang ba fila gore no le sa re mixa le baruti ba ba seng sharp go na le di-gay le di-lesbian tse di stone ne ke na le bone ko toronkong ba bang ba rapile yeah o na le di-gay people ko toronko ba e leng gore ba committee le aming ke batho ba etsa ntho e nngwe batho ba e etsang so ne ke re gape re nne careful ga re bua e se kana gore ra apella batho ba botlhe ka pitsiwang some people they need exposure and say ntho e o etsang e wrong you must account o ye ko toronkong ga o rapile ngwana I know someone le nna ke itse dio tse dintsi anyway ko ke go letseng teng ko Krugersdorp he was raped by a gay guy o ko toronkong le anong o etsa a life sentence so now botho le character ga di tshwane batho ba bang ba tswile mo tseleng so batho ba le botsa like a ke botsa yona Diamond most of the time tlebe ntho a ntla or ga ntse re le botsa yona ke gore o lemogile leng gore gay
Oh yeah. It's always asked. I don't think you realize it. You are born with it. You just have to accept it. This is who I am. I didn't
no
choose
like
to be.
like gore o re wa itse keng ai ya nne ke tlola ko ntle yana
I didn't have to come out. I was always like this. This is me. What you see is what you get. So I
from
didn't
2
have
years
to-
old
Yes, you didn't. I didn't have to come out or bloom out of. No, I've always been like this.
okay
Yeah, I was born like this. This is me. This is what you get.
mara ba bang a re bue ka dilo tsa go nanong ba bang ba tlhopa ne mara tla e bua
Ba tlhopha
after some
in what
people
sense?
ba tlhopa go nna or ga ba itlhaloganye maybe that is why go na le plus
Can I?
you know why ke rialo go na le majita a straight
Yeah.
a e leng gore ba targetile di-lesbian e seng kanka e leng gore ba data di-lesbian and ba data di-top mo di-lesbian so se ke samang o se bua fa ke gore batho ba bangwe a ke batle gore ke re o pretenda go ba lesbian mara a itse gore o robala le bashimane le banyana gore ke yone kgang ya gore o bisexual
No,
or
it's not
something.
being. But you can be gender non-conforming.
oh okay
Yes, you don't want to be called a woman.
le nna ka o saneng ka santsane ka
Yes, you're allowed.
Okay.
You're allowed to be gender
Okay.
non-conforming.
Also, like, I want us to just not mix the two, ne? Because you spoke about somebody sleeping with someone, right? That is a sexual orientation. That's not gender, right? So there's a difference between gender and sexual,
Oh, yeah.
sexual orientation, right? Gender is most people. When I talk to people, I'm like, gender is from your waist upwards. It's who you are, what you are, what you know yourself to be, and what you were born as, right? And then from the waist down, it's sexual orientation, which means it's whatever you decide to do with your penis
okay
or your vagina
Okay.
or your private part,
Okay.
right? So you can be a butch woman.
what is a butch
You can be a very masculine woman,
Oh, yeah.
right? Decide, when okay, now I feel comfortable in very in what would be considered men clothing, right? And still prefer to have sex with with men, right? As a woman.
go na le basadi ba e leng gore maybe like ba chima ba etsa eng mare ba
yes,
nyetswe ba na le
yes.
bana
So-
ke di bush or bosh
It's called butch lesbian.
butch lesbian
Yes.
okay
So I don't want us to get these things twisted because also these things can be lost in translation, right? One person could, o ka ntse ba ke le gay, the next thing you see me presenting in a certain way in terms of gender, and then now you want to conclude on me, and it's not okay, right? I think anybody has the right to self-identify in terms of gender and sexual orientation. And if I'm telling you, Guti, I can sleep with everything and anything or every human being in their own differences. I'm pansexual, and that is valid.
Pansexual.
Pansexual, you understand? Which means that I'm sexually attracted to like men, women, butch, feminine,
yeah.
whatever. You understand?
Pansexual.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's terms that we use for different things within the community, and I think that once you dig deep and you investigate and
Omogai.
research.
umxhosa umzulu
I'm Zulu, but I grew up in the Free State, so it was Sotho.
so o ka di describe ka Sotho body pansexual body
Okay.
bisexual
Okay.
I'm not being difficult,
yes,
but
yes,
ke check fela
yes,
something gore
yes.
are this thing only Western orientated,
Okay.
or re kgona go translate le ka di languages tsa rona tsa South
Right.
Africa.
Number one, there's problems with linguistics, right?
Yeah.
That we cannot. There's things that
Dispute,
we
yeah.
can explain in English when we can't explain in our own native languages,
Yeah.
right? But there's been a movement now to kind of I don't want to say nativize, but to kind of like bring the LGBTI towards the native route, where we are going.
Ah,
to.
mara vuyo tse ding tse ga di go Sotho.
No, I'm getting
Like
there.
divorce, like
Like-
pansexual.
like,
Don't get me
but-
wrong. That is why
yeah,
we
I'm-
did it because we want to get education.
Yes, I want to. There's a process now
Yeah.
that has been established to come up with terms or to kind of dig out terms. Say it's a long. They would explain what is
Or
lesbian.
detail.
No, they
Or
are
body create ya nong ka se
some are there, some are not. Like for
Okay.
example, bisexual men in
Ka
Sesotho
Sesotho keng?
ke pelopedi, motho wa pelopedi. It means your heart is in two places.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You understand?
Okay.
So if when we want to interrogate like ntho tse jwalo, and then even trans, right? That's the Sesotho nagata gore ke trans.
Ke trust.
Normally.
Ebile nna ne ke nagana gore ga go te trust ga tona le tse pedi.
Yeah, no.
E nngwe ya function e nngwe ba ke ba feng? Ba teng
Trans
vele batho
people,
ba ya.
trans people, transgender, right? And like,
Transgender as motho change le gender.
no.
We'll get into that. It's very broad. It's
No.
not one base.
Right. So you know what happens ne with our native languages ne? There's utlofumana one term and then one term we want to make it an envelope approach or an envelope term, which is very wrong if you ask me, because no gender how ka like it's used very loosely. Like every person about mananga skete go strating kitagasi. And there are men that enjoy wearing skirts and they don't necessarily say I'm gay or I'm trans or whatever. And the people have freedom to choose. I mean, we can't.
Hey, leadership o bone ke tsa di buff and shine o sang
Yeah, you know,
ta tloga go tekana.
yeah, you really cannot say just because somebody's wearing a skirt and
Or
you want to,
kentse di-
you want to conclude their gender identity.
And ona le bana ba ba ratang go
your
iphafa
sexuality.
fela, go
Yeah. So it's a matter of
Mara
you
nka re
looking
ke
nice.
iphafa 2 years tlang a setse re penta manala.
Mara, get it, it's just you looking good and taking care of yourself. It has nothing to do with being gay.
Guys, what do you think ka baba leng gore they are
They're what?
hey but the gate ding monna vuyo gore a kena mo ndaone like most of majita ba bantsi setse ba krile encounter le di gay di gay tse ding se be ba foster di straight majita straight or ba nne le bona. It makes sense.
It does.
It's not
a
necessary.
ke bue vuyo a re sa e bua ka professionally
It's there.
a
What you
re
say-
bue varva
what you're saying is
wa
there.
tla majita baya setse ba nile le di encounter le gay people o kry re le go tlapong re plomme renwa and o tle ba wa ntlhaloganya a etsa move ke mangwe etsa move ke gay ebe let's say for nna ebe re tsweletsa re na le chance le ene maybe ke ya ko countering or toilet or ko parking ko ntle a ntse le morago ang khoga ke mo fe chance ya hey chomi ke mo no I'm straight I'm not gay ba bang they go to understand gore we itse yang gore straight it's like they are it's like about respect bo straight ba as much as ke tshwanetse go respecta your sexual orientation or whatever the way we bitsang ka teng wa ntlhaloganya gore go na le batho ba leng gore ebe ba feleletsa majita mang ba hate di gay.
Okay, can I just before I answer that, I just feel like you learn that you're not learning in this process, and we're here to make you learn, because like we just explained to you literally what gay is and what trans is, and even though we use
ke a gana vuyo
Okay.
like we just
Go na le
explained something,
Vuyo.
but
There's a
until
guy-
now,
Can I
you still
talk? Maybe you get
yes
it.
yes
Okay,
no
as-
ke kopa le nthusa leadership ke kopa extra mic ra ke kopa extra mic what I'm saying here o tlo bua Diamond go na le di gay tse re itseng gore ke gay o nna le monna ba siame respect ebile ba nyalane for instance or ba jole but the very same gay a le lost heart a le lose a rata bana no go tshwana le basadi ba bang ba yalo guys la
I
etsa
feel like
ke-
that's
But
okay.
it's
No,
a human
ke-
issue.
ba go
It's not an
fetsa-
LGBTI
no,
issue.
hey,
That's a human issue.
that is why ke rile
you.
it's dilo tse neng ke human nature that is why ke re a re sa tlhokantshang dilo tse pedi ga re bua ka motho ga re buang ka motho gore o dumela mo kerekeng e feng
Okay.
sexuality ya ge eng ga gore political party no so ke batla go e fa Diamond please Vuyo if you
Okay.
allow me ne what I'm saying ke gore go na le di gay like basadi ba bang ba ratoetsa di movie ko rona o se interested mo wa ntlhaloganya gore ya motho ke mna ke re o sina ke go batle ke sharp ke na le motho or ga o type ya or how
I
type ya
want to address it because
a ke itse gore wa ntlhaloganya na yes
As we were
Diamond.
saying, mutu ki mutu.
Yeah.
Before,
I'm
before,
sorry,
wait,
hey.
before I'm trans, ne?
Hmm.
I'm a human.
Yes.
So whatever that I do it on a human level, not because of I'm
Yes.
trans.
Yes.
So if someone is gay and they're approaching you, they're also human and they have feelings. They like you. It's not because okay or bad, and then when you're gonna sleep with them you're gay. No. There's this thing with good straight men are not really straight because don't take offense. We're not conversing. We're not. People are always saying I'm straight, and then they meet this one person who they knock you off. Do you understand? I feel like people should
Yeah,
be...
yes.
No, ke sa go goge. There's a lot of men that approach us and then they say they're straight, but utla because ke
Those are not straight.
No,
Let me give you a scenario.
Wait,
Okay.
doesn't mean that when you sleep with me, you are gay. You can be attracted to me, unto also gay or into trans people. That it's you feeling me. That's what we were saying sexually. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't affect you. Because of onale trans, you are gay. I feel like the world should get to a place where we don't confirm people. What?
And Retoya, producer, Retoya go tronko, ntse re arrange le go tronko.
Yeah.
80, not 80, they will exaggerate. 60% ya bana ba go tronko ba robala le bana ba bang, but they are not gay.
That's what I'm saying.
Kana ke tla go pointing ya. And gay people, mo South Africa, go di tronko, a ba nne mo di commune cell, ba ba treat as women. Because they are in danger. A gona gore ba ka ile nna go di commune cell. So ba nna go di single cell. So point ka fa ke gore e be ke ipot ke tla mo ntse e bua ke re ntate o nyetse re bona mosadi ya ge go visiting a tlile le bana and everything o tlile mo tronkong now o na le moshimane ba ba bitsa di wife o na le moshimane o leng gore ke mosadi ya ge o robala is known man le minister wa correctional services knows nka mmolela le mo matlong because ke goletse go ke a itse di dynamics tsa go tronkong so e be ke re ntate o ga tswa go tronkong back to his family maybe ke mo go tlileng ma after 9.
Okay. Okay. Firstly, kupa go tla mo morao because I feel like you perpetuate.
We still have time,
Yeah.
leadership. You must indicate time, Mariska.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a lot of stereotypes that you're perpetuating. So I just want us to I want to bring us to the real conversation, right? Things are nice when they're done by men, right? And that's the toxicity of heteronormativity, right? What I mean by this is when a man goes after a woman, even though a woman clearly tells him, I'm not interested in you. And I don't want you making advances on me. I don't want you touching me. I don't want you feeling on me.
Stay away
I don't
from
want you stay away. You don't, right? You don't the whole night until 2 a.m. until like you follow her to even her vault. Like it's fine. It's good because it's not you. But because a poor gay guy likes you to an extent, to do the same things. I'm not saying they're okay, right? But he does the same things to you, and now you feel uncomfortable. What do you think women feel when you do the very same thing to them, right? Number one. So what I'm saying, that's a human thing. That's on you. It speaks to your character as a person. Are you persistent? Are you just a nonsensical or fucked up person?
Or a
Jay,
pervert,
as a person,
yeah.
a pervert in J. You don't have to be gay to be a pervert. You don't have to be a queer person to be a pedophile or whatever. We are human. It's a human thing, right? One. Secondly, I want us to speak to the issue. There's these things that we call heterosexual men who have sex with other men. It's HMSM, how we define the term, right? So you are completely heterosexual because for you to say you're gay, you need to be sexually, emotionally, and psychologically interested in a man, in another man, to a point where you see like, okay, now I want to build a relationship with this person, or I want to build a relationship with this gender, or with this sex. You understand what I mean? It's not just sex.
So heterosexual,
heterosexual men who have sex with other men, it's just men that enjoy anal sex. One. They can be men that enjoy anal sex. Yes, because it's tighter, let's just be honest, it's tighter, number one. And then other men, like, there's circumstances that force you into that.
Exactly.
Besides, like, situationally, what's the next best thing?
It's either was Komola
or what? You understand? It's situational, right? Or, for example, 10 years of sex and then there's this person and then you want to ban, you understand? And also there's another aspect of HMSM. Men that are over 60, we know what they experience erectile malfunction or dysfunction or whatever, you understand? So most of them yes, most of them now, there's this thing, they gravitate towards anal sex from boys. Because I get most women are not like open to the idea of anal sex. So when anal sex happens with, anal sex is a penis a lot stronger and the erection is more. So it's a fact. It's a scientifically proven fact. So they'd rather have sex in an anus than in a vagina because it's not as
I
so
get your point.
that's just instances
So guys,
where someone is not gay but then they can engage in sex with other men.
Hey, maphelo ana ba fetu. Tshwantse re itse a re phela mo South Africa. South Africa is free for dilo tsotlhe. So tshwantse re di itse dilo tse. And a ke itse gore now let's get into your organization.
Okay.
E simolotse leng, why e simolotse le etsa eng?
So Access Chapter 2 was started, I think, the 21st of April 2014, 11th 11th of April 2014, right? So Access Chapter 2 means that we provide access to the Chapter 2 of the institution of the Constitution of South Africa. So we know the Chapter 2 speaks to human rights. It's the Bill of Rights, right? Yeah. So that's basically what we championing, right? But our main focus as an organization, and I'm speaking like nationally, and then I'm gonna come to here in Rustenburg what we do, right? So nationally, we focus on championing the rights of women, LGBTI people, and people that are living with disabilities. Because we realize that, a lot of times femicide is a problem in this country. Gender-based violence is a problem in this country, and discrimination on LGBTI people is also very rife, right? So we need to bring these people towards them realizing and enjoying the fruits of justice and enjoying the fruits of our beautiful constitution, or beautifully written constitution. So that's just what we do. We focus on health, on psychosocial support, and on the legal side, right? Legal services, right? So that's basically what we do. And then in Bojanala, we are currently implementing a transgender program, mainly focusing on transgender people. We don't turn people away, Mara. We're not saying. Our main focus is transgender people, where we provide them with access to HRT. HRT is hormonal replacement therapy, which is the hormones that help you, to transition. I'm a trans. No, like I was gonna say.
Don't ask 5 minutes. I want us no listen to me. A few minutes. Go the second segment. Ke ratile o berekisitse lefoko la gore stereotype. Now go teng ga ritse, and it feels gore these guys they still stereotype and so on. Nna ka mokgone ke itsine mo 5 minutes ke batla re bankanye eo re tlotle re bua ka dilo tse ding le organization. Trasi nna ke gola ne ke itse go tea engwana o na le dilo tse pedi engwe ya function engwe ga e function ne. Transgender madam the DJ o nna go tlhabane wa meet. She's a prominent DJ. She's a very good friend of mine. Last time I give me interview at radio because I'm also working for a radio station somewhere. Ke re bua gore mo processing ya gore o change o tsenya ya basadi vagina on sa 45 on tlhaloga. So to me my understanding ke gore ke transgender on tlhaloga nna ke itsitse tse so ke kopa o correctele fela ga o te motho o trans ebe a le ya.
Okay, kana in English when you say inter we say what? Two, right? So intersex people are people that have two, more than one body part. That is intersex, not yes, and that is the politically correct term. A lot of people used to refer them to hermaphrodites, right?
Intersexual.
Yes. Intersex.
Intersex, yes.
Sex has to do with private parts. Sex. I can into to male or female. Male penis, female vagina. Sex. So it's intersex. So they've got more than one private part, right? So with trans people, it's that. For you to identify as trans, you don't have to have a vagina or work towards having a vagina. Okay. You understand? If you are born, like being transgender is you identifying with a gender that does not correlate with the sex that you assigned at birth, right? So when not probably on your ID it's written male, right? But then you grow up and you realize, okay, I might have a penis, and they might see my physical characteristic as that of a male or that of a man, but I don't identify with them. I'm a woman. That's what the transgender is. Whether you choose to take HRT like the one we provide at Chapter 2, whether you take it and then also
the hormones,
and then your skin is becoming more supple and things like that, and maybe you follow through with the whole process, where you phase up, and then you now have a vagina. That doesn't count as long as you identify yourself as a woman or as none of the two. There's an element of gender non-conforming also in transgender. So there's that thing of ish. I don't identify as male, but also I don't want to say I'm female or I'm a man or I'm a woman. So that's gender non-conforming.
Mjojo the podcast. Rabua runa mitsi harabua ya retena motabeng ya runa maybe ntse ipotsa gore e bana ka jeko go buiwa ka jeko. No, we are coming back in our second segment. Re tlo bua ka di drugs within the community. Re tlo bua ka di challenges tse banang le tsone, like the organization is here. Re tlo ba botsa dipotso re be ka ofela ba so saying ke a bua via ke Mjojo the podcast. Ke na le voe le time on te re a fetsa riding ka jeko re bankantse re ithutile le reng ya gore we are a community is done. le ga mang a ka reng ko kae, because we are one community ya modimo, we are one community mo lefatsheng, a re share tshwantse re share equal constitution re cover ba botle. So unless ka osane batho ba na le disability tle be ba re we are a disabled community, batho ba leng gore maybe ba batelle ba re no, we are the giant community, we should stop the stereotype. Ke a zwala a re bua ka di-drugs. Re buile gona nong ra itsweletsa yanong re kena mo the business of today. Organization ya lona ke understand gore is too constitutional, e protecta dilo tse dintsi tsa basadi le the LGBTQI plus people, and let's talk about drugs.
Okay.
I remember re bua ka batho yanong le motho wa ntlhaloganya ke eng di-drugs go ya ka lona, not legal drugs. Re tla bua ka over counter drugs maybe later, but then re bua ka di-drugs tsa ko strateng ke eng?
Do you want to start it?
You can start it.
Okay. I think drugs for me, whether legal or illegal, are just a substance that has that might result in an addiction of some sort. That's what I think a drug is for me. Yeah, drugs, anything that can lead you to not like depend on it to survive or for survival.
Vuyo o lebogile leng gore gay or o tsule leng gore gay Diamond o buile story sa gago?
Okay, I'm trans.
You trust, sorry.
Yes.
So ke go addressa yang a ke bua le
Okay, my pronouns are her, she, queen. You can say Queen Vuyo, Queen
Okay.
Fushi.
Queen
Or
Vuyo.
she, her. Yeah.
Okay, she her.
So yeah, basically, as a
What's
trans
that thing?
person-
Take me through that.
I never, also like Diamond, I never really sat down with my parents and
Ba
said-
bone ba re oh
not even Baboni, like it came with the smaller kind of things, right? With my, when I grew up with my nieces and nephews, right? But mostly was nieces, right? So I grew up with them, and then like, no man, boy, and then while on because and my mother would start questioning. Luckily for me, fortunately for me, she was a very a liberal and educated woman. She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "No, I don't identify as a boy." And then from I think I started playing netball grade 1. I started playing netball grade 1. Okay. So when I went to primary school, I had already known that I'm a girl. So it didn't even take a lot of time for me to like realize that, you know what, actually I'm a she, I'm a her, I'm a queen. I've always been trans. I've always been a woman. It's just a matter of just people not realizing it, because there was always information around that, and it coming from me, because it's important to self-identify. You can't tell me what you know just because you're wearing a skirt, you're a trans or you're a boy or what.
so why go botsa question ne dilo di 3 and mo dilong tse 3 ba bang ba ipolaya, ba bang ba nna ko closeteng tle ba tlhokofala, ba bang ba berekisa di-drugs. Now experience ya go le gay people mo di-drugseng, ba bang tle ba go ra no ke berekisa di-drugs because I have a lot ke imetse a ke batlo bua or a ke kgone bua, because it's not easy for batho ba bang go tswela ko ntle, ba bang ba ikhipa till and o mongwe ba re tle ba re no ke lekile go ba bontsha ka di-action ba mpushetsa go thoko, so nna ke berekisa di-drugs to numb the pain or wa ntlhaloganya. O mongwe ba re no ke ba boleletse mara ba ntse shapo, so ba kry-a lerato ko di-drugseng. O na le experience ya batho ba yalo?
Okay, firstly, I think the reason why other people are not comfortable with disclosing their sexual orientations or their gender identities or coming out of the closet, if I may put it the way you will understand it, is because there's these stereotypes that our families perpetuate.
You know, sorry for you, ke tlo go busetsa, sorry ngwana ko gae. Re buile thata ka tseo ka first.
No, I want
So
to
ke batla gore yes, ke batla gore for the next 25 minutes go re be on point, go re tsene mo substance.
Yes, I want to tie it, like I wasn't even going to take long. I just wanted to tie it to drug abuse, right? So you face the rejection from high. How should let's say generations, your dad is just going on a homophobic rant, right? And then now psychologically you're affected because you're like, but this is the exact same way I feel. And then now you want to cope, something that, you know, we humans are people who have a sense of belonging, where they feel accepted, or something that can just make them feel at ease or at peace, right? And then you start smoking weed. And as time progresses, weed is now not enough. Has offer the high that you need. And then you go to like your white stuff. You start sniffing, right? And then that's when you fall into the trap of drugs. And then now you can't cope, and now it affects your daily lives. So I think a lot of queer people, I'll use the queer people as LGBTI as an umbrella term, fall into that trap mainly because of acceptance issues and society.
Nako ke le ko rehab ke le patient ko teng ne re na le gay people or queer people ne. So now we are doing programs even as DXP but thusa bana ba di-drugs, and I have my own organization and I'm working with different stakeholders. We now refer but wana le problem ba di-drugs ko di-rehab still le gay people ba teng da le ga ba se bangata wa ntlhaloganya. So now a ke itse gore as human beings ke bo stoked fela or motho tla ba etsa excuse. You know what I used to tell people ke gore go ya ka nna, not being judgmental, decision fela go tsa di-drugs is a stupid decision because go ya ka thabang there is no reason e ka etsang gore motho a tse di-drugs. Ha o re o tsaya di-drugs to numb the pain will remain. Ha o re o tsaya di-drugs because ha ona batsadi ba tlhokofetse ba ka se tsoge ko mabitleng. Ha o re o tsaya di-drugs because ha ona mmereko, ha o le high a gona gore ka kry mmereko. So yeah, no problem.
I wanted to say, you know, sometimes when you do certain stuff, we are not sober and we want to run away from reality.
Yeah.
So it's a stupid move, but because at that moment it feels good, it takes you away from
Or
it.
you have nowhere to run to.
You can't think twice when you're in that situation. So we are not all strong. You understand? We are all not mentally stable. We are not all that brave. So sometimes you just want to run away from reality and that's it. So that's...
I wanted to say also, when you said it's a stupid decision, I was going to say, but for who? Right? Stupid for you, right?
Yeah.
But also, I think as human beings, psychologically we're not wired the same. Emotionally we're not wired the same, right? And then imagine, like imagine for a trans person, you're black, you're living in a very anti-black world. You're poor, you live in a capitalist world. You are trans, you live in a cis-heteronormative space, right? Odulako rural areas. There's 4 things that you are against, yet you're fighting all the, like when you're fighting all the odds. And also, your family is also against you, right? So that person, when they make that decision now, take any drugs, they're not making it in the same mental capacity as you, who's just a black man living in suburban South Africa with all the money. Those are 2 different situations. So and I want us to be very wary when we discuss LGBTI drug use and just...
Not in my world. I am stigmatized every day. I was into human trafficking, let me tell you. I was raised up by a single mother because my father was very abusive. I became a bully at an early age. My little story. I started sniffing, I'm 45. I started sniffing glue at the age of 15. I was abused by my own uncle. I've ended up eating kuri dustbin. Remember, my mother was working in the NS. I took a decision to do drugs just to numb the pain and sense of belonging. I ended up committing crime and I was sentenced to 18 years in prison. I stayed almost 9 years in prison. I came out of prison. They still live with me. And I won't say I had to take drugs because I went through that. I took the most stupid mistake ever in my life. To indulge in drugs. So with me, when I address issues like drugs, I'm not going to justify and say yes because I was once, you know, my mother, therefore I must take drugs, not with me. And I'm not being because like you said, we are not wired the same. But with me, when coming to drugs, I'm saying that doesn't justify the fact that now you must take drugs.
This is not a struggle Olympics. You hear what I mean? This is not us trying to say, but this is more stupid when this happens. And now I was just bringing a trans or a queer perspective into this to say there's a lot. Like if we wanted to discuss that, I would say my argument would also be the very same things that you went through. There's another person that went through, but they're trans.
True.
So that doubles up. You understand? So I would go in and say, but you were a boy and people were accepting you as a society. But there's another trans person that's understand. If now we want to make it a struggle Olympics to say who has struggled more or who has had more traumas and stuff like that. But we are equal up. You understand? So I just wanted to say I was bringing in a trans perspective.
Have you ever taken drugs?
I have not.
Why not? Everyone is taking drugs these days.
Have
you ever tasted weed?
Yeah.
Have you?
Okay, the only drug I take is cigarettes, guys. It's a drug, Leon.
Vuyo,
I smoke cigarettes.
have you ever taken any drug?
Yes, I've taken tobacco. Yes.
Weed?
No.
Habli?
No. I don't smoke.
I do
habli.
habli.
You do
I
habli.
don't.
Okay. Also to Lipaji?
No.
Serious?
The budget are fellow? No, not at all.
Why, man?
I've been exposed to cocaine. I've been exposed to.
Also Shapila anyone?
No, I've been exposed to Madombo. I left in Joburg
Yeah.
for some time, but.
You from Clarksville?
No, I'm not from Clarksville. I'm from the Free State.
Yeah, because Matombo ki temia ka.
Yeah,
Matombo ki crystal,
like,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, now it makes. I get go na le temia thing ya drugs. Okay.
Yeah, there's just a
Guys,
lot
ke
of
mang
things.
ila taste the drugs mo?
No one. No, we are law-abiding people, Tina.
I'm sure.
We are
But
very
we
law-abiding.
three, but what people three, una le private life, public life, le secret life. You don't know. Maybe my man.
Okay.
My man, re phela ga three, re na le public
Okay.
life, private life, and yeah, back to the subject. Now, guys, what do we say ko bathong ba eleng gore, especially the gay people, ba eleng gore they are ba mo di drugs. I've seen people overdose, but gay ba bolayana ba itsa eng. Somebody last night gay people ba botle ba bereka ba botlhale ba itsang, but ba bang ba teng ko strateng, you know. It doesn't necessarily mean ba bang o ipela gore because nkare batho ba ntse gore ke tshwane le bone now ke tlo bala a ke batho depend on bathong, but you go to the streets ko batho ba re bolang ko strateng, you gay people go di strateng, and they're going through the worst. So I would beg you guys, your organization, please ba ruteng in, please godisang this organization and say now today or this year or next year now the focus up ko di drugging se leng gore they are our community, because rona arna taba. I'm not saying in particular, but I'm saying batho gantsi ga re bua ka batho re le bala di gay people. Yeah, and
also, can I just interject in there? So what our organization is doing now, we are currently in the process of building a shelter for destitute and people that are trans or LGBTI that need shelter, because I guess some people find themselves in the streets, and that's why maybe some of them are pushed into the life of drugs, right?
by the way, prostitution as well.
I was going there. And then sex work.
Why
and
we
then
terrible?
and then it's sex work, and then also there's
sex work.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
can I say sex work is work?
Thank you.
It's not
Yeah.
prostitution. So if trans and gay people are doing it, it's okay.
Have you
It's
tried
work.
it?
I haven't tried it, but
You
normally
wanna try it?
no, I can do it from home. I'm a trans and I'm a slay queen. I don't do it for free, so it's also work is
For how
work.
much? Can you ask?
1K going up.
What? For one round?
I'm
Can
explaining.
we not deviate, please? So now I want us, when we're talking, I want us to also put everything towards our services and what we do as an organization, right? So we're going to have a shelter for destitute trans people and LGBTI people that we're going to be able to, help them get their lives in order. It's not going to be like a permanent housing structure.
More of a halfway house.
Yeah, something like that. Because happy but how we're gonna have a shelter. They're thinking, so for your week's podcasting earlier, you understand? But it's not yet running. It's still in the pipeline.
Yeah,
But we're working
it's in the
towards that.
process.
So we are aware of the sex workers that are on the streets, but body transfer LGBTI that use drugs. And we're providing the little support that we can for them.
You do?
Yeah, we do.
Wow, that's
But-
great. Let's say for those people in particular.
We give them safer sex packs.
Like where? Here?
when we're in
Rustenburg.
outreaches, yeah.
Really?
Like on North Park, most of them come.
Okay.
Go North Park. We get a lot of
On
them
North
there.
Park?
Yeah.
La, ya look at his
Yeah.
stake.
Not really, because it's not. We've tried YS, so it's not a very comfortable working environment because obviously
Rathaba
you're
nyana?
working. Yeah, Rathaba, obviously.
Lemvuthe.
Njani. So it's that thing of we're going to have that permanent structure, and then obviously maybe our organization, if they see what it's working, they'll look also into implementing programs that are going to eradicate drug use amongst
Drug
LGBTI,
use, yes.
amongst
Yes.
LGBTI people. In our line of work, our organization is open to new things and learning new things, and also we are very aware of it. As soon as we so we're still trying to pick up the trends, the problems of LGBTI people,
of the
trans
area,
people, so that when we come and respond to them, we come up with a very informed response to say this is what we're dealing with and this is how we're going to provide a solution for it. Do you understand?
What's again? Go na le bana ba mostly because ke etsa le di-program tsa ko dikolong bana ba bangata ba di less ne ba tsuba di-drugs man a ke itse gore why ke noticitse nna a ke bue le ba di-gay mare bana ba bangata ba tlo ba tshameka bopolo ba etsa eng nka re go na le this thing ya gore so tshwanetse ke actela mjita even ke tsube ke etseng
It's the influence from the boys. I agree they hang around. Yeah,
That's just peer
it's
pressure.
influence.
That's just peer pressure. It's a human thing. It's peer pressure.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we just need to educate them on peer
Yeah.
pressure. Nothing more,
Yeah.
nothing less. Like, I think now the world is moving towards being inclusive, right? We're not there yet. I'm not even going to say we're 20% there. Like, we are working towards. There's parents now that will tell you, "Now I'm going to trans and I'm going to grade 4." And they fully accepted it and they're fully embracing the kid. You understand? And they're listening to the kid and what the kid wants. Like, they are customizing the child's needs per their child's instructions. You understand? So, it's just a matter of mostly peer pressure. But then we still have instances where parents are severely homophobic, severely transphobic. Even more rural areas, we know we still have like 60-year-olds or 30-year-olds that still can't Google lesbian, gay, but would rather spend 1 hour on Pornhub.
So alcoholism
Nah, Black Label.
Black juice
Champion beer.
I drink Savannah and
hey
champagne.
ne ke tsogile ka go tla extra pass
Cut it off.
Oh, it's a champagne.
I
please.
drink champagne,
Champagne.
Savannah and cognac. Yeah.
so a re bueng ka go nwa go nwa moderate or go nwa batho ba nwa to numb the pain or batho ba dependile or batho they are simply alcoholics.
It's different. Some people drink it because they enjoy it. Some people drink it to numb the pain. So you can
Does the
never
pain
really
phase
confirm.
away after?
It doesn't. It's just only for a few hours, which is why they do it every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we live in a very lonely world these days.
Yeah.
Like everybody's just on their phone, stuck in their phone, and how's that not like leisure activities? Understand? So therefore, every chance we get, renyaka content, and a content go club. And the club is alcohol. So a lot of times we sort of are in need of company. It's like also belonging and feeling like, because also guys, we are a community also. We must discuss that. We are a community and we take care of each other.
Hey, bagala wa go botsa tsamile a tšhomi gele ka tsamaya a reke mare ba ba yang kerekeng ka moso phakela o kgone go feta go gasa ka metsi ka
Hey, you understand? So there's also that element also to say, but when I go to alcohol,
o tla ya tšhomi ke go ntshe
so I think it's more than anything, we are in a day and age where just relationships in J, not just relationships that are romantic, but relationships in J, even our relationships
social,
as siblings, as family, as friends, as whatever, they're lacking, right?
Yeah.
So where do we seek refuge? Alcohol and
guys o na le batho ba leng gore ga ba feel dilo tse dingwe o na le motho e leng gore o morare ba la o ye sekolong a ra ke batla ene ka se mo first o na le motho e leng gore e mona e tsa eng a re ai ga ke batle e sharpo so what's your take about batho ba leng gore ba re dark or blue we are not going to accept gay people? I mean, it's within their constitutional right. You get those people ba leng gore ba tlo re
I always say, this is who I am. The world will adjust. So whether you accept me or you love me, it's not going to change who I am. I will continue being this. And I will continue blooming, living, also with my people. So you can hate us, you cannot accept us, but we're still going to be here. The new generation is coming. You can never finish us. We're going to be here for a very, very long time. So it's up to you. But
because batho ba bang ba la o ka bua wa etsa or the politics for instance gore ke sa mo tsa di example tse di gore no a ke rate di politics ene fela
Bonang Mateba once said, nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you an explanation. Nobody owes you their life. Nobody owes you money. Nobody owes you anything. As I'm sitting here as a trans black person, I don't owe you anything. You accept me, you don't. I'm still going to be here even tomorrow. So you can come, you can shoot me down with your words. You can try to bring concrete on top of me, but like a flower, I will bloom, I will grow from that concrete. So if you don't acclimatize yourself with situations right now, because we're working towards artificial intelligence right now, right? We are in an era of fourth industrial revolution. If you don't learn about that, if you don't learn about differences, gender diversity, then you are too late.
But guys, Harisa is an offense.
No, it's not an offense.
Ke
I'm just
rapela,
saying.
you know, ntho tse le di buang nnete bana ba ko. They are relevant, and you like nna ke na le di-flaws tsa ka batho tle ba batlo njudge ka tsone I don't care. But as well, go na le batho ba leng gore ke a respecta gore ba mpitsa a druggie.
Yeah.
Or ke a respect gore ba mpitsa le pantiti because no point ka ke gore ke ithuta mo lona ga le re we don't care. Wa ntlhaloganya. But then how do you deal with a person in a calmer mode?
Civilized way.
Yes, or nna a ke na sepele allow me to say that. Wa itse gore ga ke mo
Yeah.
Since le lemogile maybe la itse. Mara ke batlo bua ntho straight because podcast ga e tswang le FM. Re bua ntho mo podcast. Somebody are a ke batle stabana mo se fitileng. In a polite manner. Wa ntlhaloganya gore go na le batsadi ba ithu ngwana ka re ke gay mme a re go siame tata a re o ngwana ke tlone ke go rata mara ga ke rate ditaba. Wa ntlhaloganya in a polite manner. How do you say okay papa tla ke move from go high head because I go batle mo a ke tlo ba ntlhaloganya.
Firstly,
I think we should also respect motho o reng a ke rate alcohol.
Okay, we are not enforcing anything on anyone.
I
think
ne ke batla
yes,
hore
we
ya,
are not. It's not us saying learn about us, understand us. But the minute you start doing something harmful to me or uttering something that might
you will defend
I
yourself.
will defend myself, and it's not going to be nice, and it's not going to be cute, right? Like, there's a lot of things that we don't understand. Even Ronald Transit is just like. Mara but you never see us
Exactly.
Are we-
You don't question people.
You
Are
understand?
we agreeing to say go na le problem ya substance within your community?
Yeah, there is a lot of it.
And dinako tse ding ba re go batla motho o itseng o na le experience or motho e leng gore batho ba nna comfortable le ena. So are we saying from today le tlo atolosa le tlo godisa this organization le feletse le lebella thata le mo kganya di drugs? And then the message before we wrap up, I think it says a few minutes, to your people, to our people, by long they are in drugs, which drugs, don't mention names.
I know a few,
Within this community.
And no, not really. We always talk.
But why but
It's just rejection mostly, and feeling like their lives are not coming together. So it's just to run away from the pain.
okay.
Yeah. But
So-
we talk. I think like they're getting better now because they talk to me. Yeah.
And then as organization moving forward, obviously I don't know decision only one but from this podcast e leng gore le nkintshitse mo contenteng ka jeko we had to know producer ka ntsang komanya gore mona o bua ka di-drugs a o bua ka di-drugs we are here for the drugs but I think I had to risk this time ka jeko gore re wrap up dilo tse tsotlhe re di kenye mo umbrelleng e one gore gays lesbians drugs wa ntlhaloganya because batho ba bantse ba sa itse le gore obviously le tlo tlogela di-number tsa lona and so on gore batho ba le contact so ne ke batlile thata gore as we wrap up o nagana gore le ka thusa batho ba trapped or the addicts ba mo di-drugseng ba di-gay people le ka ba thusa yang ngwana go ya ka wena
Okay, as I said
o tlhalositse gore la tshaba go ya go baneng teng because go kotsi go dangerous and ntwa e a se ya magwala and le tshwentse le nne safe gape because batho ba bolaya batho ba rekisang di-drugs ke business people you don't wanna mess up with them.
Mess with the
But then
business.
what do you think e ka ba solution especially mo gay people ka kganya di-drugs?
Okay, I'm going to particularly address the trans I told you we've got psychosocial support, ne? So I'm going to provide a remedy and a prevention method, right? Prevention is if you feel like your burden is becoming too much and you are looking into looking at drugs as a solution, don't do that. We've got an in-house clinical psychologist and social worker that are readily available for you. Understand? So just talk to us, come to us as Access Chapter 2 so that we can be able to start a process of ensuring that Obasham. Also, the solution, like the aftermath, the treatment. I think going forward, Jay, as an organization, because these are things that we know, we'll have to look at means in which right? and means in which I told you there's a shelter in the pipeline where we're going to take them and then try to develop them and and then try to make them be better people, right? So I think those two speak to trans people and gender non-conforming people and LGBTI people within the Bojana district that are trapped or that are looking or that are on their way to being trapped by drugs. Yeah.
7
Boven Street, Protea Park, Rustenburg.
How director motho tswang magong o re yalo mola
Chomi, why?
tshwantse gore wa bona ga o cheata o tsena ka left o beng ka ro ya ko renkeng e be o
Okay.
Okay, I'll
get to that just now.
Yeah.
How there's a church, there's a big church. In front of that church, also, for we stop plus Savannah. A lot of people get Savannah. Savannah Moli, like Savannah, Savannah, and then Lake Street. As you go up into the suburb, we are going to Park, straight down. It's a T-junction like this. And then on your right-hand side, that's our offices. That's where our clinic is located.
As we wrap up, Diamond. Diamond.
Because I'm a diamond, roughly made but sparkles.
As we wrap up, this thing, any related today, your substance abuse, your last message to the viewers at home.
Yeah, I wanted to say I'm really honored to be here with you because, we're going to be able to help the transes in collaboration with you as Access Chapter 2. Because we're really not into that, but because now we met you, we can just collaborate to help trans people who are into drugs.
In the one attractive go back
No.
No, thank you so much, guys. Remote DXP Studios, Kachiko.
Social media.
But on not do host because I've mentioned where is Ratana? No. Before you guys come, La Robota Woman are LGBT car. I'm pulling your leg, man.
Okay. So we've got our Facebook page that we recently just started. It's called Bojana La Transgender Program. Our main national Facebook page is Access Chapter 2 on social media, also on TikTok and Instagram as well. So our address, I said, it's 7 Boven Street.
Let's acknowledge everyone who's here.
Okay. We've got our legal department that's here. Her name is Sasha. We've got our M&E person, our M&E manager, Katiso Mapepa. We've got our peer educator, the beautiful Aiseng. We've got our beautiful lay counselor, who is Mamlambo Lebokhang Bokhale. And we've got our manager, our clinical site manager, who's our boss.
Please.
The gorgeous Faith Sitole. And that's just the team. And also our team leader, the driver,
Bikujo. Oga Raba fella. Rotman.
Who are you calling?
Kebrama. Katiso.
Yeah.
About
You can get us
Katiso,
on
get
this
a
platform 010 100 3177
Kopo Peter Gape.
010 100 3177. We are also available on WhatsApp 073 657930 073 657930.
Thank you, guys. It was nothing but an honor for a beginner today. And I think to say community Zarona by so saying I go by the name of Taban Sefoto, better known as the activist Sloglu Sago Hatlen Gomurling, Afata Saditabatama, me, Tlokuman Mahoten, Gomurling, Kimudibana Motente, Majama Hadiman to Malaka Kanchana, Ausnan Chano Talaka, and Kimusoto Hanten Tate, Akia Haito Haile Sotoguana, Haitoke Hatadi, Peladita Watas Tikitsenga, Mo Fuking, Ibilegi Mona, and get a little later. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.